It began with a fleet of ships and a prison sentence. In 1788, the British Empire sent its first convicts across the world to a vast and ancient land. A land already home to the world's oldest continuous cultures, the First Nations peoples, for over 65,000 years. But for the British, it was terra nullius, nobody's land. And so, Australia's colonial story began with chains, hardship, and survival. Australia literally started as Britain's prison island and somehow became one of the world's most successful countries. The transformation is absolutely wild when you think about it. In 1788, Britain was like, we have too many criminals and nowhere to put them since we lost America. So they shipped over 1,000 convicts to this random continent on the other side of the world. These weren't just pickpockets either. We are talking murderers, thieves, political prisoners, all dumped on a beach with basically nothing. The first few years were brutal. People were starving, dying of diseases, and had no idea how to survive in this completely foreign environment. The Aboriginal people had been living there for over 60,000 years, but the British basically ignored their existence and expertise. But while they were born in isolation, a shared identity was quietly forming. Australia was no longer just a place to send prisoners. It was becoming something else, a nation in the making. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1850s, they discovered gold, which brought hundreds of thousands of people rushing in. Suddenly, this prison colony was becoming wealthy. Over the next century, 6 separate colonies would rise, each with its own rules, railways, and rivalries. In the goldfields of Victoria, in the wool sheds of New South Wales, in the sun-scorched outback and the bustling colonial ports. January 1, 1901, the Commonwealth of Australia was born. 6 separate colonies joined together to form the Commonwealth of Australia through peaceful negotiation. 6 colonies became one nation, under a single constitution with its own parliament. But still under the watchful eye of the British Crown. When they decided to federate and become one nation, they wrote their own constitution, created their own government. The first Prime Minister, Edmund Barton, took office, and a new flag was raised under the Southern Cross. From the battlefields of World War I, to the signing of the Statute of Westminster, to the Australia Act of 1986, the final legal ties to Britain were cut. What blows my mind is how they went from a dumping ground for criminals to a country with one of the highest living standards in the world. They built world-class cities, developed their own culture, and became a major player in global politics. That's probably the most dramatic national